Welcome to Khul, a conversation platform made in India for the world. Truly an Atmanirbhar effort. And most social media platforms are either American or Chinese. This is Indian, and that is what makes it so special. On this show, Towards a New India, we are discussing an old topic which has come back to us, and we have with us a very special person today. Good to see you, Nambi Narayanan sir, not in the theater but in person today online.
Yeah.
Mr. Nambi Narayanan is the real hero on whom the biopic Rocketry, the Nambi effect, has been made by R. Madhavan. Very rarely does Bollywood make biopics on Indian engineers and scientists. Mr. Nambi Narayanan is very special. Every rocket in India which goes up has his signature on it, be it the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, be it the Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle, be it Mangalyaan, Chandrayaan, or other missions. But his life took a turn at some point. We will discuss all about, and I must say, the film Rocketry, which I have seen, is a great movie. So, all in the audience, please go out and see it. It's a very well made film, and from Nambi sir, we will get to know more details about it. Uh, Thanks a lot, Nambi Narayanan sir. You are a busy man. You have too many requirements and full things to be done. But so nice of you to join me. And I also apologize to the audience for starting a bit late. Sometimes IT issues can be more troublesome than launching rockets.
Yeah.
Nambi sir, the film Rocketry, the Nambi effect, is based on your life. How true a depiction is it in the film, and what happened in the course of your life? You are now close to 80 years.
Actually, Madhavan has acted in the film as Nambi Narayanan, but I think he has lived as Nambi Narayanan. And he has, without my knowledge, actually, he has understood my mannerisms, the way in which I sit, the way in which I laugh, the way in which all kinds of things. He has done it perfectly well. And at occasions, it gives me a doubt whether it is myself or himself. And that close he has acted, he has depicted. Yeah.
So, how difficult was it to let a biopic be made on your life?
Well, if you understand the entire events which took place in my life, and if you are convinced on it, that's the case with Madhavan, and then it is not difficult. Only thing is, it is your talent. It is your ability to act. It's your ability to reproduce the whole picture. I think that's most important. That is what he has done it successfully.
My question was, how difficult was it for you to let a film be made on yourself, sir? Madhavan is an actor, but for you to relive what happened, how difficult was it for you?
No, actually, I have not relived in that film excepting for the last scene. But otherwise, it was only Madhavan who was acting in that film. And suddenly, I have told, we have discussed more than 5 6 years the various issues, the various materials, etc. So it is suddenly difficult for me to explain the whole thing from my memory, from my documentaries, etc. But uh, at times, you become really sensational, and you become really you collapse on that certain things when you want to relive. It's not easy. and certain issues like the torture in the police custody, etc. Well, he has to understand if he has to take the film properly. But then I have to tell him what is what. It was really a drama in the sense. But then suddenly I made myself clear to him what is what, and the net result is you are seeing in the movie. And the fact remains that everybody believes the movie. Why? Because it is so realistic, and it is not unbelievable in that sense. Yeah.
Is the depiction throughout the over 2 hour film accurate to what happened in your life?
Sure, it is. Sure, it is. Very accurate. Very accurate. I should say that.
Or is it over dramatized some places?
I think it is under dramatized. It is
Oh
not
my
over dramatized. I mean, if
God.
you are asking for the torture part of it, what is shown in the movie is less than what really had happened. And we didn't want to dramatize it at all. We didn't want to add any cinematic effects to that. That is the truth of the whole thing.
My personal apologies to you, sir, for what happened. Some things which certainly should not have happened. And as a correspondent who reports science and technology on my personal behalf, please accept my heartfelt apologies for what you had to go through. And finally, the Supreme Court also exonerated you. And it's not easy for what happened. Now, tell us a little bit about your early life, which has been shown in the film.
You see, the beginning of my career, I started my career with Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, and then after his death, I, I happened to work with Professor Satish Dhawan, and then with Professor U.R. Rao. With these three stalwarts, I had spent something close to 30 years. And so I could, sort of work towards a goal wherein there were difficulties in the beginning with respect to the approvals, with respect to the financial element in it, and with respect to their own conviction in making sure that the liquid propulsion systems will be possible to develop. Because you remember at that time there was no propellant, not even actualizer, no fuel, and no material which can stand that high temperatures, etc. But as time went by, as shown in the movie, we started with a 600 kg rocket. Then we moved to 3 ton, and there was an explosion because it had a combined beating, and that kind of a problem. Then I got fed up. You really don't have the approval, you don't have the manpower, you don't have the finance, and you don't have the place to test your material. So from Tumba, we were asked to go to Sriharikota, where the land was very free and you can do anything you want. But the problem is Sriharikota was just like coming in that time, and there was not even only one jeep or two jeeps. And then you have to go 5 kilometers inside the hot sun. There was not even a shelter. And, with all makeshift arrangements, the sheds like that, it's very difficult to explain. But when the explosion took place, I will tell you, I knew that it is going to explode. Please ask, if you ask me the question, how do I know? Because after everything is cleared, I was walking away from the test bed to watch the firing. I remembered all of a sudden that I had done a mistake in calibration correction. Okay. How the hell the calibration correction came is because we had fine sand particles floating in the water, and then that has misguided us, and we should have corrected it. We didn't. But then I wanted to stop the firing. But where the hell you are going to stop it? Because there is no communication between the firing place and myself. You can't shout, you can't hear. So it is an agony. You please understand, you know that it is going to explode, but you have no way to stop it, but you have to live with that. And that is the time I said that it is enough is enough. There is no point in continuing with this kind of a mess. So I met Professor Dhawan and Professor Dr. Ramprakash. Both happened to be in the Madras guest house. So I told them, I exploded this rocket. I took the responsibility for that explosion. Then I said that the loss would be there in the order of about 2 to 3 lakhs. I want that responsibility. Please relieve me from this job. I can't do this anymore. That is a struggle. So that way, then they said, no, let us.
Yes, sir.
So what we did was we talked about the SCP proposal, and it was a joint development. It was a bigger engine. But then, very funny, both of them said, we will not give you money, but we will give you permission to have a joint collaboration, find your way. So to make a long story short, it was a joint proposal wherein we had the 52 people totaling to 100 man-years, but eventually it got extended to 125, 130 man-years. We were working for them in some areas, and we were working for us in some areas. And that development yielded the so-called Vikas engine. And that is what you are seeing as workhorse engine for ISRO in PSLVs, GSLVs.
It's not the so-called Vikas engine. It is the Vikas engine, sir.
Yeah.
And you named it so well. Not development, but after Vikram Ambalal Sarabhai.
Yeah.
What a beautiful name you gave to the engine. And today, as we talk about Vikas for India, I think the Vikas engine, correct me if I'm wrong, has never failed in any of our launches. Is that correct, sir?
Yeah, 53 launches we have made, including the recent one, and not even a single failure. The failures can be due to some other thing, but not on account of Vikas engine. I used to say, funnily, it is difficult to make this engine to fail unless you want it to fail. So it has a built-in reliability. That is the outcome of the hard work we had put in there.
How to create an account on Khul? Install the Khul app from Play Store or App Store, or visit khulke.com. Enter a whole new world of conversations. Click on Create an account. Select your age. Enter your email ID or mobile number to receive a verification code. Enter the code and continue. Enter your name. Style your profile with the username of your choice. Create and confirm your password. Enter the invite code. Not invited? Don't worry, you can earn an invite by inviting just 5 friends to join Khul. Select what interests you. Follow users with similar interests and create your flock.
So certainly, Vikas is our workhorse engine. Every rocket literally has Vikas engine somewhere embedded in it. You also played a role in the cryogenic engine. Let us talk a little bit about that and what it meant for India.
Actually, along with the the Vikas engine, we were planning to have a cryogenic system also. But Professor Madhavan felt that it is better that you know how to stand and then walk before running. So I see he's correct, because we were talking about failed 3-ton engines and we are talking about 60-ton liquid engine. Then we combined with cryogenic, which is also a liquid system. But we didn't have hydrogen, we didn't have anything. So at that time, it will be interesting for you to note that the HM7, which is the French cryogenic, was available just for 1 crore. Now, for the same 1 crore engine, we later paid, of course, quotations were 1,000 crores, but we paid 235 crores to get the technology. But that also didn't go through. That is due to external pressures, and the contract has to be scrapped and it has to be redefined, and that KVD one didn't come through. That was one setback, because if you had the Viking, along with the Vikas engine, if you had the cryogenic, you are really becoming a person with high capability. You can become more or less like a super space power. But it didn't go through. I was the project director for the cryogenic engine, and we went through that from 91 to 93. part of 94. Another 2 years or 1.5 years would have made all the difference, but it didn't happen. So my dreams got shattered. So you have no choice. And that's the time the so-called spy case took place. And I was kept away from the entire scenario. Not somebody has kept me away, but it was a system. It was a law of the land. I was under suspension. I can't enter into the visa because in the organization for about 18 months. And after 18 months, I didn't feel like going towards the development or to take the same position because you need some kind of a commanding position to do that job as a project director. But I can't go and stand with this stigma on my face and then go and try to command them. And what happened is, if I would have insisted, they would have given me that position. But then it would spoil the project itself. I knew, so I didn't want to be the person to the reason for stumbling block of the whole project. I said, all right, let somebody else take care of it. Now, so that is how the whole thing went through, and then you have, delays associated with that. That is in short about the cryogenic part of it.
Let me also ask you, because in the film there is a lot of depiction of what went through in the later part of your career. Uh, what really happened when this so-called spy case, and now you've been exonerated by the highest court of India, compensation awarded? What happened, and what did you feel at that point, sir?
Well, naturally, I was happy because I was working towards that to prove my innocence, which I hope I have proved it. Not once, but twice in the Supreme Court. Now the Supreme Court has now ordered a trial to be conducted on the suspected accused people in the entire matter. So naturally, I was happy. But now the matter is between the CBI and then the accused people, as per the Supreme Court order.
But can you tell us a little bit of what happened when the first arrest happened, and the kind of third degree which the police and intelligence bureau subjected you to, which is depicted in your film, and you said it is under dramatized. So I think some people in the audience may want to know how did you live through it, sir?
Well, the answer to that question is you have seen the movie, and you please ask the audiences to also go and see the movie. It is not to enhance the revenue of the movie, but to understand the answer for this question. You yourself go watch the movie. You will understand everything from that movie. It is very well depicted, very well brought out. I understand that the majority of the viewers were really shocked to go through that mill. When I said under dramatized, I didn't want to use the word under dramatized because you asked me whether it is over dramatized. I felt that it is not over dramatized. Then how do I explain? It is one step low. Why? Because it is like this. Violence, if you show in a movie beyond a limit, it is not allowed, and it will really spoil the minds of the people or the viewers. To that extent, we have brought down the violence, which was third degree. But then your next question is, how did I stand? I believe in God. Okay, so I knew that this will come through in my favor. But only thing is, I should have the stamina, I should have the mind, I should have the willpower, then I should have the blessing of God, which I did, which is proved now. Now every Indian, every people in the world knew what is what. Of course, there are certain questions which are to be answered very openly, for which you have to wait for some more time.
Because see, somebody who's looked at the Indian space program closely and has followed the so-called ISRO espionage case, even I was shocked to see the kind of third degree which you as an honorable scientist had to face. And when I was there in the theater watching the film, people around me were completely shell shocked as to how in India we could do this to somebody who is so patriotic and loyal to the country. You said you believed in God. Did what gave you the strength to continue this battle to exonerate yourself? Because in the courts you were literally very lonely.
When you believe in God, you are nowhere lonely. You have the God with you. When I was sitting in the verandas on the floors of Supreme Court, yes, I was lonely. I agree. But eventually now you are seeing, am I alone now today? I am not.
No.
Yeah, so it is your faith, your conviction, your belief, which makes all the difference. Yes, temporarily you were alone. That's it is. But today, but of course, nothing matters to me other than the strong will with which I fought this case, primarily to save the name of my family. The family stood by me, and I ought to pay back in some sense. So, as I told you earlier in your personal discussion, I was never a good husband. I was never a good father. I dedicated myself to something else, which I feel and I regret today. I should have spent some more time with my family. Because the family alone was standing by my side, as you rightly said, when I was alone. So I felt that that is not the right thing to do. So today I'm trying to do maximum, try to see with my family. That's why even with your repeated request for interview, I was trying to sort of delay it or some kind of a thing, because I just felt enough is enough. Now it is a matter between uh, the what do you call CBI and then the court. So let it go through that. So I feel I'm happy. Yeah,
So are you happy with the depiction in the film?
I'm absolutely happy. There is no doubt about it. I'm happy because it is giving the true picture of myself.
Uh, Now, I should also ask you, in a way, a lot of the honor has been restored for you, but the lost years and the lost work can never get restored. The compensation is not enough. Uh, but there is one happy moment I should bring out for the audience, which is uh, the presence of Mr. Arunan, your son in law, who was leading India's mission to Mars, Mangalyaan. Uh, while you were fighting your case, Arunan took on that job and delivered to India on a maiden effort to send India's Mangalyaan into the orbit of Mars. Did that moment kind of give you the faith and restoration in both your family and in India?
Well, the feat of Mangalyaan was great. And the feat of Mangalyaan in the first attempt, wherein we could get success, the way in which you reach the Mars orbit was excellent. So that achievement, I was happy. But suddenly it so happened that my son-in-law happened to be the project director of it, which suddenly adds additional happiness to myself individually. And I found him as a very intelligent, very hardworking chap. But then, in the mind of mind, you must understand when Mangalyaan took place, and when I was going through the sufferings, I was just thinking about it. I'm not able to sort of digest what is the point in working hard? What is the point in achieving these things? After all, finally, with all those things, I just didn't bother about my job in NASA, but I came back and then did all those things. But what did I get? A title, a spy. Okay. But to overcome that, I had to work hard. Another 27 years. And you will believe that 19 adjournments, this is our system. What can you do? In fact, that is where the patience is required and your tolerance is required. Anyway, it ended up in good thing. Nice.
Now, I also want you to relive two more moments for me. One, first time when the Vikas engine flew in the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, and the second moment when the first cryogenic engine flew in the Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle Mark II. Just relive those two moments for me. You were going through a lot of trouble, at least in the second one, but how did you feel, sir?
The first one, that is the Vikas engine, I was extremely happy. It went through nicely, beautifully, as expected. And that is a creation. So that gives a satisfaction. But the second one, yes, it went through, but it was not the one which we were visualizing it. It was not the one which we wanted it. But it is a mix of things. I don't want to go more on that issue. But finally, yes, there is a cryogenic system which went up. And to that extent, I was happy. But it is like this. How can you say that you were not happy? You were happy because it is a development. But supposing if it were the one which you wanted it, don't you think that you will be very happy because it straight away takes you to a different orbit level, different capacity wise. But anyway, I don't have difficulty in reliving those things. It is good, it is nice, and any achievement what we make in ISRO keeps me happy.
Let's see how to edit your profile details. First, open the Khul app or visit khulke.com. Click on Account at the bottom right corner and then tap on Edit Profile. To change your profile picture, click on the Change button. Then, if you select Capture, smile for the camera, or go to the gallery to use a stored photo. To change your display name, go where your display name is shown and change to a name that you feel is right. Below that, you can also update your bio with what you feel defines you, your interests, hobbies, etc. You can specify your gender if you'd like. Go down to edit your date of birth. Select the day, date and year. You can also add your personal or business website link below. And you can add your interest tags below to let others know what you like. Lastly, be sure to click Save and enjoy your newly edited account on Khulke.
There are both questions offline which have come to me, and there are questions which are coming online from the participants. One offline question came to me was, you met Prime Minister Narendra Modi. How was it like meeting him? Because he seems to be, as said many times, a space buff who understands a lot of the space technology.
Well, he is a great prime minister. He could not only understand but also appreciates the hard work behind the whole thing. So when he gave me the Padma Bhushan, he meant it actually. In fact, he was asking, the one which I am showing in the film was explained to him in detail. It is not just because I fought a case and won the case. The award is not for that. The award is for what I have gone through, which our Prime Minister very well understood. And it's on record, it's on paper. So that is a kind of impression I get. I am lucky to have such a Prime Minister who could understand and appreciate the difficulties.
Now, simultaneously, when we are discussing this, most recently, at the initiative and behest of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, there is a opening up or the unlocking of the space sector. I'll also ask you about what happened due to cryogenic, but with the current unlocking which is happening, do you see some future in commercial space for India?
You see, the commercial aspect is extremely good for India because ours is, as you know very well, the Vikas engine never fails. So we have a high reliability built in our system. And the cost is low because we have taken intelligent way of designing the system. So why the hell we can't succeed in the commercial part of it? But the problem is, how do we plan it? How do we decide? See, for example, when I'm seeing in the newspapers, some private companies are fighting to make PSLVs. I am not able to really appreciate the whole thing. Now it is time that we should look for advancement in the space-related matters, and there are so many gaps we have. They are to be filled, and one has to take action in advance before we talk about, or parallelly we talk about the privatization part of it. See, privatization, we are not going to equate ourselves to USA or France for that matter. Here we are talking about industries. Those industries were only producing things for us. They were not in the development of systems. Whereas in US, if you take Rocketry, Aerojet General Corporation, Hercules Powder Company, so on and so forth, they were all doing the research and development. Now ours is production. So we need certain corrections before we embark on this. I'm sure that there are enough expertise available to do these corrections. They can do it very well.
Let me come back to the question on cryogenic. In your opinion, was the ISRO espionage case, which was heaved on you, and I must say unjustly, unfairly, and now you have been exonerated? I am repeating that again and again. Your honor restored by the Supreme Court. We lost almost 20 years. So do you think that was the reason that India should not get the know-how, the technology, and become a competitor?
Well, it could be one of the reasons. As you know, there are evidences available which says that the external powers were interested in breaking the contract and then applied pressure on the Russians, and we were forced to redo the contract. I mean, what for? What else? Because they said that it is going to yield the method of cryogenic missiles. Where is the cryogenic missile? There is no cryogenic missile in the world even today. So those things are very little complex and political and interplanet, sort of things. I would like to stop there because these are things which are to be discussed at the highest level, and then they have to try to take and understand the whole thing.
I don't want to press further, but see, as we go in for more commercialization, go into the $400 billion market, go up to $1.5 trillion market of the space market, uh, the lost time is what many people are asking in India. Uh, had Nambi sir not been pushed into a corner, we could have gotten stuff much earlier. Do you kind of concur with that? At least that we could have gotten our cryogenic and the rockets much more earlier.
Well, the question and the answer both are obvious. Now, I don't want to say it will look as if I am boasting around, but certainly I feel certainly I would have played a crucial role in filling the gap. Even now, I'm telling you, forget about me. Even now, if they take the proper steps, you can, sort of close that 15, 20 years gap and then try to overtake and exploit the present situation, which is not difficult at all. According to me, it is possible.
So our very famous space correspondent, Srinivas Lakshman, the son of R.K. Lakshman, who also saw the film and has interacted with you on earlier occasions, was wanting to join in the audience. He sends his best wishes to you, and he also asks again that same question. A lonely battle fought by Nambi Narayanan and won. Where do you get the power? Is it cryogenics? Is it liquid propulsion which is firing you, or solid propulsion which is firing you?
Sir, neither propulsion, neither liquid nor solid, because as you know, the fight was to prove my innocence. And it was not for liquid or solid or cryogenic. The point is, you see, what bothered me more was, what the hell? How can they say that I am a spy? I can't put up with that unless you play the role of myself in the entire episode. I think it is difficult for many people to understand the agony I have gone through. That is the whole thing. It is not anything else. So that is the force which pushed me into the right orbit. And of course, as I said, God's grace was there with me all along.
Your family also faced a lot of problems. Your wife also faced issues. Uh, has she been able to come to terms with it after so many years, and you're getting some honor restored, sir?
Yeah, actually, as I told you, that everything is due to His Almighty. She has come back to normal, and she is living with me, and we are together. Of course, we have gone through this mill, and naturally, you can't do anything about it now, accepting whatever is the corrective measures and whatever award and reward which comes. Actually, it has no effect on us. Only thing is, yes, we feel happy. Okay, at least people understand what is what. And my family is with me very much. In fact, they used to be with me right from the beginning, even today. It is only me who was not with my family in the beginning. So I am the culprit, not they. They are the culprits.
Let's see how to create a round table. First, open the Khul app or visit khulke.com. Tap on the round table button at the bottom left. Click on the new button at the top right corner. Select the type of format for your round table. Be creative, give it a title and description. And remember, just like most things in life, keep it brief. Schedule your round table. Choose the type of round table you want. Add the usernames and introduction of the moderator and panelists. Add the categories and tags that best explains your round table. Add the picture, because a picture speaks 1,000 words. Invite people, and that's it. Your round table has been created. Schedule your first round table on Khulke today.
But somewhere you gave so much for India. You gave your time, you gave your effort, you put in everything, both for getting the Viking to Vikas, from cryogenic to Indian cryogenic, and all of the effort. Uh, what next for Mr. Nambi Narayanan now?
Well, I really don't know. As far as I am concerned, I must record here my sincere thanks to people like you who are trying to help me out in making the story known to more people. And Mr. Madhavan played a critical and clear role. I can't explain the troubles he has gone through and the risks he has taken in doing this movie. I used to call he's again a God-sent man to do this movie. Otherwise, this movie would be, it will be different. So that way, what is next is something which somebody will have to ask me. I have to think about it. There's so many things possible. Whether I have the mind to do it is another question. But I hope I will have the mind to do something. I can't keep quiet anyway. So that is the situation.
Have you been able to pardon India for what you went through?
Who am I to pardon India? Actually, the country is good. The people are good. I have faith in them. For some known and unknown reasons, some couple of guys, they have done this crime. Now, why should I blame the entire country for that? I am not that short-sighted. But suddenly, I feel sad, or I felt sad when the country took the cue from a different wrong persons, and then the media played a major role in that thing. But today, I am happy because everything is now set right. So that's good.
Do you have any uh, message for the young generation, especially the startups which are working hard to bring space technology at the forefront for India? And I've met many of those youngsters, 25-year-old, 27-year-olds. They are full of energy. Any message for them, sir?
Yeah, my message is very simple and clear. I'm not talking about the startups or something like that. I'm talking in general to the younger generation. If you believe in certain things and if you think that that is the right thing to do, no matter what it is, you continue to do that right thing. And you please make sure that you are doing it. You don't leave it in the middle just because of somebody else has asked you not to do it. So that is the only message I say, that it all depends on your conviction. If you are convinced that this is the right thing to do, please do that. That is the only service you can do to the nation.
And any message for your uh, former colleagues at the Indian Space Research Organization and the Department of Space as they embark on new journeys?
I better not to give any message. In that sense, I am not a philosopher, or I am not. I am willing to give messages to my younger generations, my older generations. They know all the messages. So I have nothing to specifically say anything about.
And do you think the towards the end, one quick question to you: do you think the government should chase down the perpetrators of this crime and get to the bottom of this?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because whether they are punished or not is immaterial. But I think they should be exposed. They should be exposed, and they should be made. It is known to all the people that these are the culprits who were responsible for all this calamity. And why? Because such things cannot happen once again in any other field of science and technology particular. And of course, as I told you in person, let us learn to recognize and acknowledge the people who were behind such big things. For example, I don't know how to name it, but let me tell you, my counterpart, Rajaram Nahapa, is the person who is responsible for the 150-ton propellant, solid propellant. I am doing liquid, but nobody knows his name. I mean, what is it? Is it a sin that he has done? He has developed, and you can be proud of it, and you are second to US for that. But unfortunately, this kind of a trend should change. We should know how to celebrate our people who have contributed to the nation. And I just cited a name, but there are so many people who are in that position. I think they should be recognized, they should be acknowledged, and they should be celebrated. At least it gives, see, they are not getting a big salary. For poultryism, as Professor Dhawan said, poultryism they are working. They could have gone like these IT people, or in so many ways, and they can make much more money. But still they are sticking here, they are doing this job for what? This satisfaction. If you give them the pleasure of, okay, I am being recognized and acknowledged in this country, that will be the greatest thing you can do for these people.
No, certainly. And I must tell the audience that Nambi Narayanan Saab's uh, son-in-law Arunan is also a hero for the country for the Mangalyaan mission on the same lines as M. Annadurai is another living legend from current times who gave India the Chandrayaan 1 mission and most of the Chandrayaan 2 missions. And the current chairman, Mr. Somnath, is also working hard to give India something very special, which is the Gaganyaan mission, which is to send an Indian astronaut in space from Indian soil. That is a longer discussion, Mr. Nambi Narayanan. I think the Gaganyaan mission we can discuss at some other point. Now, on the film overall, do you have any highlights, any regrets, which could have either the film could have done better, or your or what is the best part of the film which you liked?
I like the whole thing because it is depicting the truth. What is most important is it is depicting the truth. I like it. I have no regrets. In fact, you can add something more, which can be later, not necessarily in this film. This film talks about the sufferings I have gone through, and then the contribution I have made. That's a main part in that movie, which was successfully done. So I am happy about it.
And neither the film has discussed nor are we discussing the politics of how it happened and what happened during that. Let's leave that for another discussion. Both Nambi sir and I are a little familiar with the intense political issues which were happening in the background. Uh, One last point, sir. After the film and after you have gone through and got yourself exonerated, can we make sure that another ISRO espionage case of the kind which Mr. Nambi Narayanan went through does not happen?
I think so. See, we have given enough caution, enough pay. We have paid a penalty now, so people will be more cautious. So they will certainly be more careful in not repeating this. I am sure about it. We are good at it.
Uh, you, you're smiling and satisfied, it seems, with the effort made in the film Rocketry, the Nambi effect. Correct, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure listening and speaking to you, Nambi Narayan sir. And once again, on this show, on my personal behalf, please accept my personal apologies for what you went through. And I hope no other scientist, engineer, or Indian has to go through that kind of third degree for serving the country for a specific cause. Today, all rockets carry your signature, and India is grateful for that. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And a lovely audience there who patiently waited for the IT issues to get resolved and then to listen to the real hero who is now playing out in reels in the film Rocketry, the Nambi effect made by R. Madhavan. Madhavan has done a very good job on the film. He has acted. He has not used prosthetics to give himself the look of Mr. Nambi Narayanan. And as Mr. Nambi Narayanan says, he has imbibed a lot of what the person in Nambi sir is to depict on the film. I hope here onwards, at some point, we should see more happier biopics being made. And my personal wish is that a film and a biopic should be made on Arunan, India's man who took India to the Mars orbit on the maiden visit, and the love and affection Arunan and Nambi sir share and the family shares. My thanks to the audience and to Nambi sir for sparing the time in this very busy period. And may you find peace, and may India find more Nambi Narayanans who can make India proud in times to come. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you so much.
Bye bye.